I was tired of losing the tools that I use with the Arbor press, so I decided to design and 3D print a toolbox that mounts right on the side of it. The press is a cheap Chinese casting and it isn't exactly a precision piece of equipment, and since I plan to share this model online, I wanted to make sure that I left proper allowance for that. One of the best ways to design extensions for real-world objects is to first model the object itself in CAD and then build the extension on top of it. The project was fairly simple, so at first I thought that might be an overkill, but I still decided to take a photo of the press to reference its side profile. I imported that photo onto Onshape, marked 2 points on the sharp edges, and set their distance to match the actual press. Then I traced the inner casting with lines and splines, closed the profile, and extruded it to create a surface that fits the press perfectly. So the idea was to print out the pattern that I'm going to use to create the entire box to make sure it fits nicely. However, as you can see, it clearly doesn't. It was supposed to fit inside this perimeter here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to transfer this pattern onto the paper, and then I'm going to use this new paper pattern to put it in here and to adjust all the spaces that are too big or too small. So I'm trying to fit this paper pattern to make it match all the curvatures as nicely as possible, but this casting has so many irregularities that I think I'm going to sacrifice 2 or 3 millimeters around the perimeter just to make sure that it fits nicely this inner space in here. By using the same technique as above, I took a picture of the cardboard template I came up with, imported it into Onshape, traced it, and printed it to make sure I have the proper pattern right now. So I think that this pattern will serve as a very good base for designing the rest of the box. Unfortunately, I don't have the first version of the box in Onshape, so let's just take a look how it looks after printing. And there it is. This is how it looks, the first iteration of the box. I decided to go with fuzzy skin, which was a mistake in the end, but it kind of looks very nicely with the rough surface of the press itself. Now there are a few problems, but in general I have to say that I'm pretty happy with the shape of it. I gotta be honest with you, the shape of it was the only thing I could be satisfied about. There were many problems, including flimsy doors, magnets were too weak, the fuzzy skin that caused me lots of trouble, and a few other things that I'm going to fix with the second prototype. And this is the second and the final prototype. I didn't record the modeling live, however this is how it came together. I started from the shape I worked out earlier and extruded it into a box base, then added holes for magnets and handle. At first I planned 4 magnets, 2 on the base and 2 on the doors, but I switched to 2 larger ones just on the box base. The magnets will now attract the screws that mount the handle to the doors. The doors are based on the box surface, so everything aligns properly, and I added tool holders right on the doors for quick access. Next came the drawers. I decided to go with a modular system so anyone can design their own inserts for their favorite tools. Finally, there is a handle that bolts on with M6 Allen screws. There is also this tools helper object, which I just test printed to check which hole size fits the magnets best. And I got it printed. The quality of the print was pretty nice for me. And now it was time to get it all assembled. At this point I just realized that I didn't design this inlet properly. It was pretty disappointing. I designed the holes for magnets so that they require a little force to be pressed in, so I could use the press just to do something for the press. And getting them pushed in was quite satisfying. Initially I used just the press piston itself, but as you can see it was problematic, so I just made use of a screw, an Allen key screw, and inserting those with it was just pure pleasure. It sits really flush in the base. Then it was the time to mount the doors to the base. You can see that I'm struggling with it, although I designed the holes to match it properly, but then I realized, as you can see, that I just didn't remove the supports, so that was the reason why it went in so hard. The handle with those organic supports looked really cool. And this is the final result. This is what it looks like. I'm really happy with it. It fits really nicely. The magnets provide a really cool fit. The tools are just where I need them. So that's it. Thanks, guys.